Cat Club. Bill Herrman.
Good morning. I'm Bill Herrman, Public Relations Manager for the Hughes Industrial Electronics Group. And this morning I want to tell you a little bit about the Industrial Electronics Group. I want to tell you what we are in terms of our structure, what the technologies are that we represent, and then I want to talk about the markets we serve and the products that we have that go into those markets. The Industrial Electronics Group was formed about 23 years ago by putting together some existing Hughes operations which were basically formed to provide a service to the Hughes systems groups. They provided products that were not available on the outside markets. They provided equipment that was used in manufacturing by the systems groups. And they provided a technology that basically was not available elsewhere. From that we developed a mission. And the mission of the Industrial Electronics Group is stated very simply. We have some 40 product lines within the 6 divisions of the group, and we feel that we have a unique capability for the company that enables the company to have a technological base that otherwise is not available from the outside. We can provide those components and those subsystems that you just cannot get from outside suppliers. The second part of the mission that came as an outgrowth of that first role was to find outside markets for these products. Once we had established that we could produce these products, we found that we could provide them to the outside world, and that we set as our second goal to be a profit center for the company, selling our products in the competitive markets outside the company. And our third role in our mission, as you see up there, is to be a leader in technology. And we feel that we are one of the reasons why Hughes has been able to keep its reputation for excellence, for high technology, because we provide that technological edge that is unavailable if we have to go to outside sources. Now let's talk a little bit about the structure of the group. It's composed of 6 divisions and 2 major subsidiaries. There are some additional subsidiaries that are not shown here. The divisions operate autonomously, yet at the same time we try to make a synergy between the divisions so that we talk about our technological centers, which may overlap the divisions. The group as a whole has about 6,000 employees, does about $600 million a year. The 6 divisions that you see along this line are our major operations, all located in Southern California. Industrial Products Group is located in Carlsbad. It's a primary supplier of imaging equipment, of production equipment, infrared equipment, which comes out of the infrared systems that Jim Knotts was talking about earlier. They make a projector, which is used in some of our systems that you'll probably hear about from Dan Reeder later on. It is the most industrial, the most non-military organization within the company. The second thing you see, Microelectronic Circuits Division, is in Newport Beach. It is involved in solid-state technology. It encompasses both a semiconductor products operation and a microelectronic circuits, which includes packaging technology. In today's market, the integrated circuit itself has become so small that the crucial point now, the critical point in a subsystem, in a circuit board, is the way that those integrated circuits get packaged, because we can get so much circuitry in one little thing, but we lose the advantage unless we can get it out to a circuit board efficiently. It has been described as the problem of driving a sports car on a freeway. You have to be able to utilize the capability of that machine. Third, Microelectronic Systems Division was an outgrowth of Microelectronic Circuits. And it began because we started some vertical integration, where our microelectronic circuits started to be included in subsystems which are going into larger systems. The most notable of these is the passenger entertainment system that we make for the jumbo jets, which uses a microelectronics technology, uses time division multiplex technology, and it was a way when the jumbo jets came in to overcome the problem of the weight of hardwiring 400 seats, where we could multiplex it on a wire, on a coaxial wire, and save tremendous amounts of weight. This division also makes secure communication systems for shipboard use, military, and a large portion of its work is for airborne intercommunication systems in military aircraft. Connecting Device Division is just what it says. They make interconnection systems, very sophisticated connecting devices, flex cables, and various other types of interconnection technologies. Electron Dynamics Division, the basic product there is the traveling wave tube, which was the key component in the satellites that you heard Don talk about. It is the main component in the transponder that goes into our satellites, and it's used in other satellites as well. It was out of that division that came when solid-state devices came about, and solid-state microwave and millimeter wave devices came about. The separate division, the Microwave Products Division, was formed. Two subsidiaries that are shown here. Spectralab is the largest manufacturer of solar cells, the solar cells that power the satellites that you heard about, and the solar cells that may also find applications in terrestrial use in the future. And Hughes Microelectronics Limited is a subsidiary in Glenrothes, Scotland, which is involved in both microelectronics and in several of the other technologies. They make connectors, they make capacitors, other devices, but primarily for the European market. And it has given us a good edge in the European market, and we think of it as very important. Oh. Well, let me just get on a little bit more. Briefly, the locations. I won't even, all right, I will skip these. Forget this one. Let me get right to something here. I'll skip to the end. I even colored this one. I want to talk a little about the markets because I can get in specifically to the products that we're in. And we are in the best position, we feel, to resolve the problem that you brought up, and that is in terms of what does the company do in a shrinking defense market. Because we are geared into into non-defense markets right now. Let me start out, for example, in industrial products, we make the automatic bonding equipment that I mentioned down in Carlsbad, welding, soldering systems that are all used in electronics production. We make the Probi infrared sensing system and thermal imaging system, which is an outgrowth of the thermal imaging systems that Jim Knotts talked about earlier that were military, and these are now finding uses in industrial applications, which I'll get into more later. A third is a graphics projector that I said that uses a thing called a liquid crystal light valve, which you'll probably hear Dan Reeder talk about because it's used in our ground systems group, but it's also now a commercial device, commercial applications. They also make, we also have for the industrial market automated security systems where they're called facilities control systems, where an entire facility, a building, an entire campus type facility can be tied together with security, intercom. The Smithsonian is our largest customer on that, and it's one we're very proud of. In military, which we are still a vital part of, we make display tubes that are used in aircraft and in shipboard applications. We make microelectronic devices that go into satellites and missiles. Our connecting devices have to be ruggedized to meet the strictest military requirements. Our microwave tubes, which I mentioned before, that were part of the Electron Dynamic Division, in addition to being used in satellites, they're also the main power source for radar systems. And we also make the secure communication systems that go into military production. For space, I mentioned traveling wave tubes. Space over here. Traveling wave tubes. Microcircuits go into the satellites. The connectors are used in some, and the solar cells are the principal source of power for satellites. I think I better just stop. I could go on, but let me cut it. Let me cut it because it's going to go too long. In conclusion, let me just say that we consider the Industrial Electronics Group be an important part of the success story of Hughes. We feel that we provide Hughes with the edge, the technological edge in its systems, and we also have given it an intro into new markets. In fact, there's one right here that is a new product. It's actually our first consumer product, a sound enhancement system which is already in use in commercial television sets. I'll be glad to take any questions that anyone has, and I'll answer the best I can.
One, you mentioned a number of applications here that are out there in the commercial market that we don't even realize. How come Hughes has been so reticent in letting anybody know, the public essentially, that it has all of this technology that we're already using?
Well, that's a very good question. The company has been identified primarily as a military electronics supplier. We are the leading military electronics company in the country. It has been our core business, and the businesses that I'm mentioning here now are in some cases new businesses that we're just starting to get into and just starting to publicize. We're looking, for example, at the automotive business to be a good market. We're already producing things with our parent company, General Motors, that we think are going to be large product areas. Some of our microelectronics, our microcircuitry is going into there. The infrared sensing system that I mentioned is already being used by General Motors in their manufacturing operations. They're using some of our connectors and some test boxes that go along the assembly line. The near obstacle detection system, which is a device which we hope will be incorporated in every car eventually, which can detect a child on a tricycle behind you when you're backing up and let you know that there's something there that shouldn't be. We think there are a lot of new markets that offer us great potential, and the reason perhaps you haven't heard of them is that we're new, we're feeling our way into them, and we're just starting, but we think that you will be hearing a lot more in the future. Any other questions? Well, I want to thank you very much.
You won't forget the first commercial application.